Our loved ones can show up for us in all sorts of ways, whether through signs, synchronicities, direct communication, and today's ghost story is no different. However, when this listener laid down in her acupuncture session, she was not anticipating who was going to show up and speak with her. Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Robbins, and welcome to Life, Death, and the Space Between podcast. Today is a ghost story. Ghost stories are your opportunity to share with me your stories of connecting with your loved ones from the other side. So without further ado, I bring you today's listener ghost story. I promised my Grandpa John that I would write our story when trying to sell our condo. I just listened to one of your podcasts with Rhiannon Hines, and I was encouraged to enlist the help from any and all energy forces that are willing, whether it be spirit guides, angels, or loved ones who have passed. I had such an amazing, heartwarming experience praying in my dining room today, surrounded by 17 pictures of my family on the wall, many of whom are no longer living. I knew I tapped into a beautiful, powerful energy who heard me and wanted to help. While my vibration is high, today is the day I will share my encounter with you and your listeners. I don't remember my Grandpa John very well. He died before I turned 3 years old. I have exactly one memory that I've had since I was a child, and it was from the perspective of the wood floor in my grandparents' house. I was looking up at a tall man sitting on a seat in front of the organ we kept at our house for 2 decades. I have been thinking about that organ and my grandparents on both sides because I took on the task of digitally archiving my parents' collection of photo albums. It took a year to sort and organize the photos into chronological order and family groups. And then it took another year to make a photo book for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. I loved the project. Not only do I love organizing, but I also love photos and photo books. They capture so many memories and moments of love that can be ingested in one seating on a couch or one walk past a family wall. The archiving project was meaningful to me because I got to see my parents as kids, dating teens, young newlyweds, and new parents, which was about the same stage I was currently at with my family and my children. I got a glimpse into their world, my very limited perspective of being their child, and it was filled with laughter, adventure, and friendships. While I was sorting these pictures, I made prints of my 4 grandparents, my husband's 4 grandparents, our special great aunts and uncles, as well as parents' siblings and kids. I framed 17 pictures that also included our parents, both sides of our siblings, their families, our wedding picture, and our daughter's current picture. There was a lot of love on that wall. 11 people on the family wall have passed. So I call them my angels in heaven, and I pray to them often. I work from home, and my dining room is a comforting, sunny room with my entire family and loved ones in heaven smiling at me. At the time of my encounter with Grandpa John, I was undergoing physical therapy from acupuncture to alleviate some of the nerve pain from tight tendons caused by a series of surgeries. I discovered that I had had the BRCA1 gene mutation, which causes hereditary breast and ovarian cancer. My cousin had breast cancer first, but she didn't know which family member has the genes. My sisters and I were tested, and one of my sisters and I tested positive for the BRCA mutation. My cousin's father and our father were identical twins, and their father was my Grandpa John. We embarked on a journey of tracing women in the family tree who had died of cancer, and we found a trend in my Grandpa John's sister's descendants. We all removed our ovaries and breasts and then went through breast reconstruction. For me, the process took 6 surgeries over 18 months. I was in a lot of pain from tight muscles around my implants that pulled tendons down my arm to the point of making my hands useless. I couldn't perform basic duties on my computer from my job, and I was scared. Acupuncture was starting to show improvement in my pain and hand function. But acupuncture has a spiritual component to physical healing. Traditional Chinese medicine explains acupuncture as a technique for balancing the flow of energy of life force known as qi. It is believed that this force flows through the meridians of your body. After I started my 4th session, my doctor inserted needles along the meridians up and down my body that had blocked energy contributing to my nerve pain. She turned off the lights and left the room for 45 minutes, checking on me periodically. While writing this, I don't remember what I was praying for, but I used that time in the dark with my energy flowing to pray to my family wall. I went through each of my angels by name in the order they were on my wall. When I got to Grandpa John, my entire body started to tingle, and I could feel something like electricity running through me. I stopped my prayer chain and asked, "Grandpa John, is that you?" A flood of electric tingles shot through my body and tears flooded my eyes. I knew without a doubt I had made a connection. I wasn't really sure what to do next, so I asked if he had a message for me. I heard him say, "Thank you for remembering," in the lightest of whispers. More tingles and tears formed a river down my face. I immediately thought about all the pictures I sorted through and archived on my family wall and his picture on it. I was shocked to hear from someone I didn't have a strong relationship with on Earth. I always expected to have a visit from a closer relative, like my mother's mom, who was the only grandparent I grew up with. I scrambled trying to think of what else to talk about. I didn't want to waste this gift, this time. So I started to talk about my life, like we were just meeting and catching up. I told him about my wonderful husband and my children. I updated him on the discovery of my BRCA1 gene mutation that we were prepared to handle in ourselves and our daughters. I thanked him for visiting and didn't want the moment to end. I hope you've enjoyed the video and podcast so far. Please consider supporting Life, Death, and the Space Between on Patreon at Dr. Amy Robbins. You can donate any amount that you feel comfortable donating. Also, we are actively looking for sponsors, so if you're interested, please reach out to us at dramyrobbins.com. I really appreciate any support you can give. I ran out of things to say, but we stayed there in a cocoon of complete peace. Eventually, my doctor returned, flipped on the light, and removed my needles. It was over, and I knew I needed to tell my dad and family right away. And I also wanted to share this heartwarming gift with you. I hope it brings you and your listeners comfort and peace. Thank you so much for your ghost story today. If you have a ghost story to share, go to dramyrobbins.com, click on Share My Story, and go ahead and share your story with me, and I will share it with all of you.